Fix-A-Lot here. I'm going to show you how to change the spark plug and coil on a 2002 Porsche 911. This goes for all of the Porsche 996s, 99 through 2004. It's the same procedure also for the 997s. Essentially, you have to start with the parts here. So we have Beru coil, spark plugs. It's going to be pretty simple as far as changing these out. 5/8 inch socket for your spark plug, ratchet, and then a set of metric sockets. The procedure is relatively simple. This is the coil. It's basically a coil on plug system, and this sits above the spark plug. Spark plug's here. When you put the spark plug, after you install the spark plug itself, you just kind of push this down onto it, and then it'll function. The way you mount it there's two bolts that go through these holes right here, and that mounts to the valve cover. So I'll show you in a second where that's located. What you're looking at is the right rear of the vehicle with the wheel removed. This is the back section back here. You've got your muffler, but the valve cover is actually covered by this this plate. I'm going to be removing these with two bolts. That plate will come off, and then that will expose the area where this coil sits. Okay, the engine is cold. I removed the rear 10mm bolt. I'm removing this forward one right now. Once that's removed, the whole plate will slide out like that. And you can see here, try to get a little bit closer, that there is a coil on plug. There's one hex bolt here, and there's another one right up here. Once you undo these, this whole coil will just pull right out. First things first, when looking at the coil itself, there is a dust boot that is located right here that needs to be lifted off. So you just kind of push it from the bottom, and it lifts off like that. There is a clip here. You push on this top part of the clip, you can see it move like that. Do it one more time. You can see it move. And once you have that out in position like that, then you can push up on the plug, and off it will come, just like that. The connector will come off like that. Then you just undo these two with the Allen bolt, and then pull the whole unit straight out. Now that both Allen bolts are removed, the unit can just be grabbed and pulled straight out like that. Spark plug is still inside, and you'll need a 5/8 socket to reach it, and you pull that out and inspect the plugs there. Here you can see a clear difference between the two. On top is the new plug, below is the older plug. You can see it's quite tarnished. The electrode's actually been worn a little bit, so these plugs were due for a change. So here's a nice new unit put back in, torqued to about 7 foot-pounds. You make sure that the connector receptor is facing up. Then you snap the connector back in place, and then put the dust boot on there. And basically you're done with this one. And there's a whole set of, you're done with this one here, but there's a whole set of other ones down here. I don't know if you can see. There's another one here, and there's another one further down which we're going to remove and install also, because we're going to do all 6. But I'll show you just this one bank, for this video. So just a little trick on the second spark plug on the right rear bank, or right bank. I use 2 extensions here, 2 short extensions, in order to, and the 5/8 socket, in order to get into that space, because you've got the muffler and muffler mount that kind of limits the space that you have. Also, another note on, with regards to the new Beru coils, they actually come, I don't know if you can see it, but they have a little bit of dielectric grease already in them, so you don't have to apply dielectric grease to the boot itself before you slide it in. Again, you want to make sure that the plug is facing upwards when you slide it in. So the reason why I'm removing spark plugs and replacing all of the coils is that I was receiving a check engine light saying that there was a problem with the ignition system. So usually the coils, one of the coils go bad, but I decided to change them all since the car has about 80,000 miles on them. The last one on this right side bank is the most difficult to get to. The combination that I used was a small kind of attachment. This is actually a ratchet attachment that's only about an inch and a half long, and then a 3-inch extension along with the 5/8 inch socket. 2 of these 3-inch extensions work well for the front 2 spark plugs, but the rear one, there's just not enough space between the exhaust system support and trying to get your wrenches in there. Also, when you are pulling out the coil here, as it's coming out through this area here, just rotate it and it'll come out of the hole. You need to get clearance from this top section, the plug receptacle, so that needs to be rotated out of the way in order to pull that all the way out. So that's kind of the trick to getting on the last bank. Alright, this is the job all completed. Make sure you put back on your protection or cover plate here and reattach the ground strap. You'll have removed that in order to get access. And then you're ready to go. The last one down there on the right side is very difficult to get to. That's going to take some time in order to get the Allen bolts in, as well as the top connector back onto the coil. But if you work from underneath as well as through here, you'll be able to get it done. It takes quite a bit of time though, especially if you don't have a full lift. But after you complete this side, go on to the next side, do the same thing on the 3 cylinders on the other side, and you'll be set to go.